G'day viewers, Retro Man here, and welcome to episode 1 of my brand new series, Lost Movies from the 1990s. Today I'll be discussing a martial arts gem that tells the story of a legend. This movie has an attention to detail, it really cares about its subject, and hopefully this will reinvigorate people to go out there and check it out because it's a whopper of a film. And I'll also be taking a look at a skydiving spectacular with stunts galore, and you will get swept up in the energized aspect of it. Dragon the Bruce Lee story from 1993 is a fantastic biographical drama about the life of Bruce. It chronicles his relocation from Hong Kong to the United States. We see Bruce go to college and fall in love with Linda. The cast here is really special. We have Jason Scott Lee portraying Bruce Lee. Now, he was a newcomer at the time and he just fits this role like a glove. He equips himself well in the action sequences, and I tell you what, his acting is really great in this. I think he obviously connected with Bruce and found a kinship and a spirit there that really comes across on the screen. And I can still remember how excited I was in 1993 to see this film on the big screen. And for me, it totally delivered. It was everything that I wanted. And I think the action's great. I think Lauren Holly is charming as his girlfriend Linda. I think this movie just has it all. So the romance, the action, the drama, it builds its characters well and it makes you care about them. Not only do we feel something for Bruce, we feel something for his girlfriend Linda, who later became his wife, but we also get some insight into Bruce on those film sets. And this was a biopic that was affectionately made. So I think everyone involved really wanted to do their best for Bruce. And it actually shows on the screen. It has an energy to it. It has a vibrancy to it. It has a beauty to it. I think it looks great, this film. I think the cinematography was well done. I think the acting is really solid. Robert Wagner also plays an interesting part in this film. So it's peppered with all these little supporting roles as well that have been well cast. We just get a real window into the dramatics that were going on behind the scenes during his meteoric rise into the stratosphere. It's the story of a guy that came to the United States and changed our world, really. And it is just a wonderful movie. So Dragon the Bruce Lee story is one that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And I still believe at this moment in time, it is still the strongest and the best adaptation of Bruce's life to ever hit the screen. So kudos to director Rob Cohen and this cast who really gave this film something. So Dragon the Bruce Lee story is one that many don't talk about, but it is a real winner. So if you're a young person out there that's just starting to develop a taste for Bruce Lee, definitely seek out Dragon the Bruce Lee story because it dramatizes the events with aplomb and it gives you some insight into the mechanics of the man. There was a lot of care, a lot of warmth brought to this project. Some people may say some of the details aren't correct, but everyone has a story to tell about Bruce, and this story is a magnificent one. Terminal Velocity from 1994 is a big-budget skydiving movie starring Charlie Sheen and Nastassja Kinski. Now, I saw this film at the cinemas and it was packed out the night I went. I still remember it. It was a Saturday night, and at that time, Charlie Sheen was a big international star. He'd had those Hot Shots movies out and they were hits around the world, so everyone wanted to go and see Charlie Sheen. Sheen on the big screen. And this movie kind of broke even at the box office, but in Australia here, it was a bit of a hit. I remember that Saturday night, it was packed out and people seemed to have a good time with this film. But ever since then, nobody talks about it. So in this film, Charlie Sheen plays this daredevil skydiver who gets caught up with the Russian mob, and there's two guys, James Gandolfini and Christopher McDonald, and he kind of gets himself in trouble with those two, and he has to team up with a Russian agent played by Nastassja Kinski. So Sheen and Kinski come together, and it's a little bit of a weird, far-fetched plot, but they really tried to put some spectacular skydiving sequences in this film. So it had an interesting supporting cast. I mean, Gandolfini, of course, went on to do The Sopranos. Christopher McDonald is just this working actor who has appeared in everything. In this film, he has dyed hair. He's a striking villain, really. But for the most part, if you're into these outdoor stunts that are really adrenaline fueled, this film will get your pulse racing. So Charlie Sheen really lays it out there. And in the 90s, Hollywood seemed to get caught up with trends. And for some reason, skydiving was a big thing at the time. And there were two studios competing with skydiving movies. So you had Terminal Velocity with Charlie Sheen, and there was this other film that came out with Wesley Snipes called Drop Zone. And I think Drop Zone went a little bit better at the box office than this one. And I think Drop Zone may have even received some better critical notices. But Terminal Velocity was a big release when it came out, and for the most part it delivers what it sets out to do: skydiving excitement, and it does have some chemistry there between Sheen and Kinski. So it's not one of these action films that people talk about much today, but back in '94, this was a full throttle movie for Charlie Sheen. He committed to it, and they spent a lot of money on it. 50 million back in the mid-90s was a chunk of change, and this film battled at the box office to kind of break even. But I think for the most part, if you check out Terminal Velocity, you will be entertained. You'll see Charlie Sheen really trying to make it as an action star. So it's full throttle thrills. And back in the 90s, this was meant to be something. And I'm sure you'll get swept up in the stunts, the excitement, and the overall scope of the film. So Terminal Velocity is a film that is largely forgotten nowadays, but it does fire when it comes to full throttle stunts. So if you're into that type of thing, Terminal Velocity is just the ticket. So there we have it, another episode of Lost Movies from the 1990s. Thanks for joining me. And if you have something to say, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd like to hear your memories on these two films. Did you see them in the theatre? Did you catch up with them on video? These are kind of lost. No one talks about them today, but I have an affection for both films. Terminal Velocity is not the greatest action film, but it's not talked about much. And just seeing Charlie Sheen in action mode will be a thrill for some of you. And I'm sure it took a lot out of Charlie Sheen to commit to skydiving and attempting these stunts. But for the most part, it looks okay on screen. And I'm sure everyone knows who Bruce is. And why I chose this film was it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. If you didn't experience this on the big screen in 1993, whenever someone talks to you about Bruce Lee, they generally overlook this film. They won't go and tell you, go and seek out Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. In my opinion, it's one of those great biopics that has just become a neglected title. It's not one that people talk about. I think in general people just like to watch the real thing, and I can't blame them for that. But this movie really details his life well. So Dragon, the Bruce Lee Story is a special film full of great action. It tells a fantastic story. It's just one of those biopics you must see. Have you never seen these films? I think they're definitely worthy of your attention. Please share your thoughts and memories in the comments below. Let's get that discussion flowing, and keep watching the channel because I will be back with another episode very soon. But until then, please like, comment and subscribe. It really helps. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you're alerted for when my next episode drops. So until next time, this is Retro Man, living the dream, retro style. Stay gold.
Thanks for watching. Retro Man will return faster than a boomerang. But in the meantime, please check out these other episodes.